Black shiny Pokemon are some of the best shinies in the franchise, and are normally reserved for only the strongest Pokemon. You know, like Charizard and Greninja, or even the legendary Pokemon Rayquaza. In Galar, however, black shinies range from a sheep to a pumpkin to then a literal pile of sand, none of which really scream powerful. So I wanted to see if I could beat Pokemon Sword using only black shinies. And well, here's how it went. Oh, also disclaimer, this run I was using boosted odds from the mod. I'm not sure what the percentage is, but you know, just to be transparent on that front, the odds are boosted. As mentioned in the intro, one of the primary black shiny Pokemon in Galar is the sheep Pokemon Wooloo. And luckily for us, Wooloo can be found on the first route of the game, and by using an overworld shiny mod, all I had to do was run up and down the route until I saw the shiny, making this a really quick hunt. Oh! Oh my god! Hey bud! Shiny Wooloo! Alright, let me just... Dude, that's so sick. Wait, this mod's so cool. Oh my god, it didn't take long, like, at all. Like, maybe, like 2 hours? If that? Oh my god, dude. Oh, that's so sick. Wait, this mod's so cool. And obviously the Wooloo shiny sick as well. So cool. This is a shiny I really wanted in my shiny only Nuzlocke I did like ages ago. And I'm so glad I have it now. Oh, that's so sick. I spend an ungodly amount of hours shiny hunting for these videos, and I tend to leave things unkept when it comes to my Body's Forest. But with today's sponsor, Manscaped, and the Lawnmower Desert Sand Ultra, my Pokeballs have gone from a pair of sad fluffy Vanillats to smooth and confident electrodes. I was at first pretty scared to go trimming down there in those sensitive areas, but with its skin safe technology, it was safe and easy. The Lawnmower Desert Sand also comes with 2 interchangeable blades. You have the trimmer blade, which is perfect for trimming down growth, and then you get in close with the foil blade to get that nice and smooth feeling. Now to show this next feature off, I do have to turn it on, but it comes with an LED light, which is perfect to help you find those sneaky little hairs. You can also use it in the shower, so you know you can let it wash away the old you as you become a new and fully groomed man. It also comes with this awesome travel case, allowing you to bring it everywhere, and this awesome t-shirt, so you can let the world know you're well groomed. So if you want to elevate your grooming in this new year, use my code BPNuzlocks at the link in the description below for 15% off your purchase. Thank you for Manscaped for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to hunting. I want you all to officially meet Teddy the Wooloo. And can we talk about how criminal it is that this little cutie is only available in Sword and Shield? Like, how did Wooloo not make it to either Scarvi or ZA or either of their DLCs? It's just, come on Pokemon Company, what are you doing to us? Also, this shiny is so fun as I feel like it's an obvious play on the term black sheep. So sick. Love this shiny, love this Pokemon, adorable. Teddy is a gorgeous shiny and is super adorable, as I just said, and while he is a pretty strong early game Pokemon, with him being able to tackle his way through the first few trainers and even hop, Pokemon Sword doesn't really have a traditional early game, with the first gym leader's ace being fully evolved and level 20, which is something I just don't think Teddy could handle by himself. Luckily for my literal black sheep, we get access to the wild area, which is home to a vast array of Pokemon, and within that array, am I saying that right? Wait, now that I'm reading it, can something be within an array? Is that what an array means? I don't know, I'm not very good at English, let me know in the comments. Anyway, we can hunt for a couple more team members here, first of which being this little guy. Oh, wait. Is that shiny? Oh yeah, that has to be shiny, Yeah, it is. I don't know why I'm second doubting it. I don't know why I'm doubting it. It's blue as hell. Let's go. Yes. Cool. Okay. Oh, dude, it's so cool. Okay. Oh, I think I just was so used to like Sword and Shield not having overworld shinies that like shook me for a second, but we got it. Oh god, don't kill. Oh, I was even close. Okay, we're really good. Oh my god. Alright. I'll go for another one, like. surely it even does a crit. Okay, now I know it's not a black shiny, but it evolves into one, so I think it counts. And it's gonna evolve into one like relatively soon. Like not next level cap? Maybe next level cap. I actually don't know the next level cap. Oh, but look at him, he's farming, dude, he's farming. And it's redemption for letting Arrow die in my original shiny only Nuzlocke. This is like a... Do you have another tackle or... No, yeah, I'll just... It'll catch. Tackling that is really stupid, right? I want to kill another Electrike. Yes! Alright, cool. We'll be seeing more of this Electrike than we did the last one, I promise. Now you might be thinking to yourselves, yeah, wow, really cool dog you got there, BP, but he's blue, like as hell did. He's blue. And first of all, I'd like to say thank you. You're pretty cool yourself. And second, yes, you're right. Bob here is distinctly blue. However, he does evolve into a black shiny. So for now, he's joining the team as an honorary black shiny. Like an advanced shiny loan, almost. Look, I need all the help I can get. Speaking of help, Bob wouldn't be the last wild area shiny I'd pick up. Though, unlike Teddy and Bob, this hunt wasn't an overworld shiny, so my super cool mod won't be any help. Anywho, my next target was a shiny Badoo. And again, you might be thinking, wow, BP, Bob is a weird name for a dog. Also, Badoo still isn't a black shiny. To which I say, there's a naming theme for this video. If you guess it right in the comments below, I'll heart it guaranteed. And while you're down there, maybe like and subscribe, as I'm trying to hit 100k this year, so it'd be super cool. And as for Badoo, you'll just have to wait and see. But now though, here's my silly little shiny reaction. Oh wait, that's shiny. Let's go. Yes. Okay. Ooh. Okay, we did it. Oh my god. That one's so much more hard, like more hard because you didn't have the mod. You got some overworld, but we did it. Oh my god. Whew. Okay, shiny Badoo. Oh my god. Like shook me a little. I waste no time building a friendship with Louise, which in turn blossoms into a beautiful evolution. And look at her right flower. Boom! Black shiny, baby. After tens of hours, we are now officially part of the gym challenge. And I know I say this every time, but this cutscene with all the gym leaders, it's so cool and really sets the tone for the future gym battles. A less cool sight though is Bede in Gala Mine. This guy is always a pain, and without any real powerhouses on the team, I assume this time won't be any different. Ted can tackle his way through Solosis, though for Gothita, I switch into Bob, and its Psybeams hit like a truck. And once again, he kills my dog. Though this time it isn't a Nuzlocke, so it's slightly less heartbreaking, if not just, you know, traumatic. I send in Louise to finish the job, and despite her weakness to psychic type moves, she's able to crush Bede's remaining Pokemon. That was for Arrow, you monster. With Bede out of the way, we can now challenge Milo for our first badge. He uses grass types, which would make you think that Louise and her part poison typing would be enough to guarantee our victory. But Louise's best move is Poison Sting, which has a base power of 15 and is a physical attack. So yeah, it's not going to be the hardest hitting attack around. I could go get some TRs from the wild area, but I decided to just rock our team's base movesets for now. And well, I guess we'll see if I regret that decision. I of course did still have a plan using their base movesets, and that was to use the move Toxic Spikes, a move that will poison an opposing Pokemon when it enters the field. And there is really only one way to get rid of it. Yeah, that was it. Well, if you didn't know, Rapid Spin gets rid of any entry hazards, effectively making our plan useless. Well, that's what I would say if Gossifer wasn't using random moves. So I test my luck trying to get 2 layers of Toxic Spikes up, but he clears them away again. So instead, I bring it low with Poison Sting and then set up the spikes before it faints. This lets me get at least 1 layer of spikes off before he sends in his ace Eldegoss. Was it worth sacrificing majority of Louise's life? Probably not, but hey, at least she can land a small Poison Sting before being obliterated by a max strike. I send in Bob next, but he's only able to land a single bite before being taken out by 2 max strikes. And while we are down to our final Pokemon, this is far from the worst case scenario, as Eldegoss didn't use a max overgrowth, which means it isn't getting any passive healing, which would have countered our poison damage. It would have also boosted its grass type moves, but thanks to this massive throw, Teddy is is able to whittle it down with tackles and poison chip, winning the battle and our first badge. Normally from here, it would be a straight shot to Holberry to challenge the second gym leader, but Hop is waiting for us so he can have one of his iconic bridge battles. I'm seriously not joking, by the way. I swear we battle Hop on a bridge at least like 4 times in this game. Maybe it's like a metaphor for London Bridge is falling and the fact that Hop's self-doubt is constantly, you know, setting him down through a downward spiral, you know, like how London Bridge falls down, or he just likes bridges. I don't know. What I do know is that he has no rapid spinners, so our toxic spike strat works wonders and it's an easy win. With our bi-daily bridge battle out of the way, we make it to Holberry, home to the second gym leader, Nessa. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Nessa looks way easier than Milo. In part, this is due to me having an electric and grass type, but Bob and Louise are still pretty vulnerable to dying to Dreadnought's attacks. Our best answer is actually Teddy evolving into Double, gaining a huge boost to its stats, mainly in its defense, going all the way up to 100. But with his ability Fluffy, it's effectively 200 or like maybe 150 or something like that. I don't know. It's a big cool number that should allow Teddy to handle Dreadnought. As for Nessa's baby Pokemon, Bob should be able to handle them, and well, it is a little bit like scary / embarrassing when he can't even one-shot Goldeen. A Water Pulse then does a decent chunk, but it's nothing Bob can't shake off, and a second Shockwave can take it down. And I mean, surely Bob one-shots Arrokuda. It's Arrokuda, or not. Okay, well, again, it can't do much to retaliate, so Bob gets his second KO with the fight. Actually, not one-shot that bad. But now he's facing down Nessa's ace. I do want a free switch here, so I decide to let Bob take the fall, giving me a free switch into Teddy, and wasting a turn of Dynamax. Teddy then lowers its attack stat with a growl, helping him tank the incoming max strike like it's nothing. Nessa then kinda throws by not using the stronger max geyser, as it uses a third max strike for its final turn of Dynamax, and Teddy lands a second growl. With his boosted defense and the Dreadnought's lowered attack, Teddy easily wins the 1v1 with a barrage of super effective double kicks, earning us the second badge. For our victory, we are rewarded with quite possibly the most awkward dinner in all of gaming. I really couldn't imagine a worse experience than this current one. You know what? That's my fault. I didn't knock on wood. My bad. Honestly, with Teddy, I thought this fight would be super easy, but I forgot about Bede's Solosis and its super annoying move, Endeavor. This move matches the target's HP to the user's. For example, Teddy's headbutt leaves Solosis with just 5 HP, and then it uses Endeavor, bringing Teddy right down to 5 HP as well. We do outspeed so Teddy can finish it off with a second headbutt, but now he's in KO range of literally any attack. So he decides to go down fighting, doing massive damage to Gothita before then being turned into a psychedelic lamb chop. I send in Bob next, and he can finish it off with a bite, but Beatty's Hatena beats Bob in a 1v1. Guys, I'm seriously starting to think that Electrike might be bad. Like, this is getting silly. Anyway, Louise is thankfully able to clean up the fight by sniping Hatena and 1v1ing the Ponyta with Giga Drain. But by no means was that easy, and if we're struggling with Bede, then we're just, to put it bluntly, screwed against Kabu. I mean, come on, look at this guy's team. It's stacked with some of the best fire types in the franchise and a Gigantamax Center Scorch. Oh, and did I mention that 2/3 of the team is weak to fire type moves? Yeah, you know how I was like, wow, Fluffy, big defense number, woo! Well, that boost in defense comes with one major weakness. Yeah, it's fire type moves. Honestly, conceptually, it's a pretty cool weakness. Like, fluffy things do tend to be flammable. It's cute, but it's also a massive pain. Thankfully, the level cap of 27 does mean Bob gets to evolve into Manectric, and well, it's time to see if that's enough for my black shinies to get through this battle. It's it's not. Like, it's not even close, really. Even with his evolution, it still takes up to 4 shockwaves for Bob to KO Kabu's first Pokemon, Ninetales, and Bob is left hella low by the end of it. He can at least paralyze the Arcanine with Thunder Wave before being taken out, but now I'm left with the equivalent of dead leaves in the Australian bush, and my highly flammable duo quickly combusts, becoming nothing but ash and disappointment. Well, it's clear that I need a new shiny to add to the team. So I head back to Route 4, where I find one of the most underrated black shinies of all time. Wait, is that? Oh, it is! Shiny, shiny, shiny. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hello. How are you? Yes, shiny Kaboo. Oh my god. Another pretty quick one because it's an overworld, so it's so easy to reset spawns in Sword and Shield because like the spawn radius is so small to reset. It's so good. Oh my god. Okay. The only problem is the only problem is it's still a grass type, but it looks so good. Oh my god, it looks so good. Since it's a trade evolution, I can evolve Pesto straight away into the fully evolved Gorgeist. There is a massive problem though. Pesto is another grass type, so it isn't really helping me, you know, be more fire safe. Don't worry though, I had a plan. I lead the battle with our newest shiny Pesto, who uses the move Trick or Treat, giving Ninetales the ghost typing as it burns us with a Will-O-Wisp. But now that it's part ghost type, Shadow Ball is doing super effective damage, and Pesto can get the 2-hit KO. Sadly, his trickery ends once Arcanine enters the field. Pesto can only land a soft Shadow Ball before being ran through by a Flame Wheel, but I feel much better about this attempt, and well, since Louise can't do anything to his Center Scorch, I thought I'd at least try to set up a layer of Toxic Spikes. But Arcanine outspeeds and one-shots poor Louise. I no longer feel that much better about this attempt. This bad feeling was quickly vindicated as Bob can KO Arcanine, but then his Center Scorch annihilates the rest of the team, and so I lost attempt 2. It was looking pretty cooked, pun very much intended, but hey, they say third time's a charm, so I try one more attempt. This time I lead with Louise to get off Toxic Spikes, and while this was our closest attempt yet, all it did was solidify the simple fact that I needed a new team member. And in that third attempt, I did get Center Scorch close to half HP, so realistically, all I needed to do was figure out a way to get through that remaining 50%. And there was one move that would do that for me as soon as Center Scorch enters the field. You see, Kabu's ace is a bug fire type, making it 4 times weak to rock type moves. Therefore, it loses half of its HP to Stealth Rocks. Sadly though, none of my current black shinies can learn Stealth Rocks, and there aren't any other black shinies that I can catch at this point in the game. Well, not in the base game anyway, but with the DLC, I can travel over to the Isle of Armor, where I can find one of the coolest black shinies of all time. I want you all to welcome Gene the Sandygast to the team. Gene is nothing less than a godsend as he can learn Stealth Rocks, the perfect counter to Kabu's nasty Firebug. And if we don't win with Gene, then I fear this run just probably isn't possible. Well, all we can do is try. I lead the 4th attempt with Louise, and since Kabu seems hard-coded to use Will-O-Wisp if a Pokemon isn't burnt, I gave Louise the Rawst Berry, curing her burn, allowing her to freely set up the first layer of Toxic Spikes. This in turn baits Ninetales to use Will-O-Wisp again, so Louise can set up her second layer. And she's even able to land a Stun Spore and Poison Sting before being taken down. And now it's time to send in our secret weapon, Gene, who is able to set up a Stealth Rocks and even KOs Ninetales with a Bulldoze. We are set up so well here, as Arcanine loses a bunch of HP just from entering the battle. And while it can KO Gene, its chipped HP means Arcanine can't handle a Thunder from Bob. And now it's suddenly a 1v3 in our favor, and Center Scorch instantly drops to half HP and is poisoned. Bob then widens the gap by hitting another Raw Thunder for massive damage, and then he lives the incoming G-Max Sentiferno to then hit his 3rd Thunder in a row, getting the KO, and after 4 attempts, we've finally beaten Kabu and earned our 3rd badge. Guys, I'm starting to think that Manectric might be really good. After torturing us over the last 4 attempts, Kabu comes to see us off on our journey. And with Milo and Nessa joining him, it's a nice look at what me and my black shinies have already accomplished, giving me the confidence to continue on. You know, that and the fact that we just have the perfect counter to Bede. Before that though, I do watch as Hop becomes a victim of Bede, sending him on that aforementioned downward spiral. He's so depressed in fact that we get past both the bridge in the wild area and the bridge in Route 6 without him challenging us to a battle. That's how you know it's pretty bad. I will say though, he's obviously trying to put in the work to better himself as he almost completely changes his team, which is something I don't think any rival has done before or since Hop, and it makes these battles feel different from each other. Though we still kind of wipe the floor with him. I mean, like, I just don't think adding a literal baby in diapers to the team was the epiphany you think it was, Hop. But you know, points for trying. trying. Anyway, let's talk about B. On paper, her team is actually pretty scary, with 4 fully evolved, powerful fighting type Pokemon. The Achilles heel to this otherwise powerhouse of a team is her Hitmontop. I mean, look at its moveset. Can you guess the problem? Yeah, ghost types are immune to every single move it has, and so it's time for Pesto to truly shine. To be honest, the rest of her team actually poses a huge threat to our undead pumpkin, as they are all packing dark type moves, but we are able to set up 3 nasty plots on Hitmontop, giving Pesto max special attack. He also has the move Moonblast, one of the best fairy type moves in the game, letting her get 4 one-hit KOs in a row, even on the double HP Machamp. And well, that's a really nice break from Kabu because that was super freaking easy. After struggling through the gym challenge, that win was super satisfying, but not as satisfying as watching Bede get kicked out of the gym challenge, which is just so beautiful to see, and so very much deserved. Also, can we talk about how beautiful the Glimwood Tangle is? It's actually one of my favorite routes in the franchise. I mean, a real pain to get around in, but my golly, is it beautiful. Even more beautiful is the town it leads to, Bologna? God, I hope I didn't butcher that. Anyway, this place is just such a treat on the eyes, but I was low-key worried about the gym that resides here, as Opal uses fairy types. Now, you'd think that Louise would be a good answer here, as she is a poison type, but she gets pretty hard countered by Togekiss and Mawile. So I think my best option is to go get a new shiny, and my target was Silly Cobra, and so I had to backtrack to Route 6, and even with boosted odds, this shiny took over 4 hours. This is mainly due to random encounters just being a much slower method, but eventually my little snake shined. Is that shiny? Oh, it is! Okay, oh, sick! Oh my god. Let's go! Okay, cool. We did it! Oh my god, that took like a long while considering. My god. Oh, we did it though. We did it. We did it, Ash! Yay! I quickly evolved Gale to her final form, becoming the amazing shiny Sandaconda, and gaining those sleek black pattern lines on her body, which I think counts since the OG has brown lines. And with her being able to learn both Iron Head and Earthquake with TRs, she had the perfect coverage to take on Opal and her fairy types. Opal has a pretty odd gimmick where she quizzes you, and if you get the answer right, then she'll boost the stats of your Pokemon. So to stall for the first question, Gale uses Glare to paralyze her wheezing, and by answering that said first question correctly, Gale gets +2 speed. I then use Dig to stall even more for the next question, as it's a 2-turn attack and the wheezing is immune with Levitate, and we get super lucky as it gets fully paralyzed when Gale comes back up to the surface. It was here though that my disgustingly destroyed TikTok brain kinda got bored, so I decided to attack with an Iron Head, getting the flinch, which is, I'm having insane luck. And at the end of the turn, we can answer the second question, this time giving us a boost in our defense stats. I then put the dapper ball of gas out of its misery with a second Iron Head. Mawile is next, and sadly it does lower Gale's attack with Intimidate, but she's still able to pull off the one-hit KO with an Earthquake. Togekiss, however, is much bulkier, so it's able to survive 2 super effective Iron Heads. But this does mean we can answer the final question to reset Gale's attack stat with an attack boost, just in time to finish off the Togekiss and for Gale's showdown with Opal's G-Max Alcremie. An Iron Head does massive damage, but it retaliates with an equally hard-hitting G-Max Finale, which also heals it back to green HP. But the healing wasn't enough to survive a second Iron Head from our GOAT Gale, winning the battle and us the 5th badge. I low-key think we've all been sleeping on the power of Sandaconda. In other news, Hop must be over his post-Bede depression because he's back to challenging us on a bridge, and this team might just be his strongest yet. I mean, he leads the battle with Trevenant, which yes, does lose to Bob, but still it's a much stronger Pokemon than, well, Toxel. His starter is now also fully evolved, and the only reason we could deal with it easily was thanks to it missing a Pyro Ball, allowing Bob to cut its speed with a Thunder Wave. It does land a second one to take him out, but with its lower speed, Gale can come in, move first, and get the KO with an Earthquake. Hop then sends sends in a Snorlax, one of the best normal types in the game, but it's more of a special tank, so Gale's strong physical moves can cut through the bulking bear. His last two Pokemon, Heatmore and Boltund, are both weak to ground type moves, so an Earthquake each gets a clean one-shot, winning the battle and once again showing off just how good Sandaconda is in these games. Like, Gale is putting in so much more work than I thought she would. With us entering Chichester, however, I was getting really worried, thinking that I'd have to take on the Ice-type gym leader Melanie. But then I remembered, in Sword you actually take on the Rock-type gym leader Gordie, and we have a much better matchup into Rock types, so this was pretty great news. I boost my chances of victory even further by evolving Louise with a shiny stone that I found on Route 7, evolving her into the deadly and incredible Roserade, giving her a much needed power boost. It only made sense to lead with our newly evolved Louise, and she shows off her power straight away by one-shotting Barbaracle with a 4 times super effective Giga Drain. Gordie though then sends in his most annoying Pokemon, his Shuckle. Its typing plus its massive defense stats makes this an absolute pain to get rid of, but with 3 Giga Drains, Louise is able to take it down. But I did forget to heal before challenging this gym, so Louise actually ran out of Giga Drains, so all she can do is paralyze Stonejourner with a Stun Spore before switching into Pesto. I then get super lucky as it gets fully paralyzed on the switch, and after shaking off a Seed Bomb, it gets fully parried again. Regardless of it being super effective, Seed Bomb ends up being way weaker than Shadow Ball, which gets the KO thanks to Stonejourner's shockingly low 20 special defense. And so Gordie is left with his ace, but Colossal is a massive threat, especially with its G-Max form and that dreaded fire typing. Pesto can land a soft Shadow Ball, but Max Flare easily one-shots him. Colossal is a huge threat to everyone on the team, but our goat of the run, Gale. She can stall out a turn of Dynamax by using Dig, and when she resurfaces, Dig does massive damage, though she is forced to tank a Max Flare, which hits just as hard. But that was Gordie's last G-Max turn, so it returns to a baby Colossal, and Gale ends the match with a 4 times super effective Earthquake for our 6th badge. We are now well and truly heading towards the endgame, so I think it's time to pick up some new shinies. First though, I do beat up these Team Yell Grunts, which levels up Gene, allowing him to evolve into the gorgeous shiny Polo Sand. Plus, bonus gift, my bike gets upgraded, so now I can ride it on water, which is, you know, pretty swell. This in turn lets me access one of the most iconic black shinies of all time. Is that? Are you? No, that's shiny, that's shiny, that's shiny. Oh, don't want to run into the big boy. Yeah, that's shiny, right? I'm not going crazy. Yes, okay. Oh my god. Dude, sometimes I just need the sparkles to tell me. Does anyone else get that? Like, you know, you don't trust yourself. Alright, sip. Oh, man, the amount of shiny Bewares I saw doing this one. Alright, but I'm so glad. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, I don't have Stun Spore. Oh my god, I'm trolling. That's just Dust Ball. 1, 2, 3. Big ups! Let's go. Can you tell I've had a lot of caffeine today? I'm really feeling it. Well, unfortunately, we can't actually get a Haxorus until level 48, so Hugo will be staying in the box for now. Besides, there is another black shiny that should be super useful against the 7th gym leader Piers, and that's of course Hawlucha. This is an overworld shiny, but the method is a bit different. You see, I have to soft reset just out of range of its spawning to ensure I get a new Hawlucha every time. And while it does take a while and resetting on my quote-unquote modded Switch isn't very intuitive, I am rewarded with a beautiful shiny. Oh my god! It worked! Alright, sick. I was starting to doubt it, but it worked. Oh my god. He looks so freaking cool. Hey, bud! Oh my god, he swooped me! Magpie, bro, magpie. Let's go. Oh, it's so beautiful though. It's so beautiful. Alright, sick. God, it's so cool. Alright, Teddy, we already know you look beautiful. Look at that. The red, the purple, the black. What a just perfect shiny. Our newest member, Rudy the Launcher, looks amazing. And I thought with his fighting typing, plus his incredible level up moveset, he should make the battle against Piers extremely easy. Oh, how wrong I was. After performing one of Game Freak's most embarrassing scenes, like seriously guys, can we not at least put like a singing track? And you know, like what you guys did with Roxy and Black and White 2 on the DS? Just come on guys. Anyway, after his performance, Piers leads the battle with his Scrafty. Its Intimidate ability does lower Rudy's attack stat, so Sword Stance is only giving him a +1 in attack. Though I was confident that +1 was all we needed for his Scrafty, and I was right, it's an easy one-shot. But then he sends in Malamar, a part Psychic type, making Rudy's Flying Press only do neutral damage. Needless to say, it was not an easy one-shot, and it retaliates with a Psycho Cut, putting a quick end to our newest team member. Pesto is able to finish Malamar off with a cheeky Moonblast, and Piers sends in his ace Obstagoon. And to my surprise, Pesto puts up a great fight here. Turn 1, Obstruct does block a Moonblast, but then he tries to get the double protect, allowing Pesto to sneak in a free Moonblast. Pesto then outspeeds to hit a second one before Obstagoon finally attacks with a Throat Chop, which Pesto lives. A third Moonblast then leaves it with red HP before a Shadow Claw takes down Pesto. From here though, Louise is able to come in and snipe the low HP ace, leaving Piers with his Skunk Tank. This is a pretty awkward matchup for Louise, but Gale can come in, outspeed, and one-shot. Not the way I expected to win the 7th badge, but hey, whatever works, I guess. My black shinies have made it all the way to the final gym, but Sword and Shield switches it up a bit by making the battle against Raihan a double battle. You know, just to make it that much harder to get the final badge. But who says we have to let it be hard? Because there is a black shiny native to Galar that will give us a massive leg up for this upcoming battle. I'm of course talking about our Creamy, which means we have to head back over to Route 4. This is a random encounter hunt, so my cheeky little overworld mod really isn't much use once again, and this was by far the longest hunt in the run so far. But of course it did eventually shine. Wait, with sparkles? Oh my god, I was looking at my second monitor. Oh, that's shiny! Let's go! I heard sparkles, and it seemed too early to be mine. Let's go. Oh, wait, a heal ball's gonna be so cute. Can I catch? Why would you do this to me? I just wanted us to be girly pop together. I got 2 more there. Come on. Come on. Yeah, let's go. Milcery in a cute little ball. I normally don't care, but you know, sometimes you just gotta get girly pop with it. I don't make the rules. The method to evolve our newly acquired shiny is quite interesting, to be honest, as we have to first win a battle at the Battle Cafe in Hammerlock, which gets us the Strawberry Sweet. We then let Milcery hold the sweet, and then we spin and spin and spin and spin till we eventually strike a pose and Milcery begins to evolve, becoming the adorable and sweet Creamy. And you might be thinking, BP, how is this little guy gonna help in the final gym? And well, her name's Linda, though I guess you guys really didn't really have a chance of knowing that. Anyway, she has access to one of the best setup moves in the doubles format. It's her signature move, Decorate. This move gives the user's ally a +2 in both attack and special attack. Not to mention her fairy typing gives her Stab Dazzling Gleam, a move that hits both opponents. Linda's also not the only one joining us for her first battle, as the level cap is now 48, which means I can evolve Hugo into the incredible shiny Haxorus. Oh yeah, I'm so ready for this battle. Now, wouldn't it be just really embarrassing if I spent all that time hyping up Decorate just for it to not really help, like, whatsoever? Because That's kind of what happened. My strategy was unraveled by one single move from Raihan's Flygon, as it whips out the Breaking Swipe, doing massive damage to Hugo while also lowering his attack stat. Due to that attack stat drop, a Dragon Claw does barely any damage into Gigalith. Now, Decorate can put Hugo to +1 attack, but it's far from the +2 power I was expecting. I decide that it's probably better just to play for damage this turn, and we get pretty lucky here as Flygon targets Linda with a Steel Wing, keeping Hugo at +1. This gives Dragon Claw enough power to put Gigalith into range of the Dazzling Gleam to KO, and it was so close to knocking out Flygon as well. On the third turn, Flygon opts to use Breaking Swipe, and the attack drop comes in clutch because it saved Raihan Sandaconda from the Dazzling Gleam getting the double KO. Like, it was so close to KOing here, and Raihan now gets to send in his Ace Duraludon. It Gigantamaxes, becoming a massive tower, and it's able to outspeed and KOs Hugo with a G-Max depletion, which kind of felt like overkill. Like, settle down, bud. Sandaconda does barely any damage with an Earth Power, and Linda retaliates with another Dazzling Gleam, KOing Sandaconda while doing massive damage to Duraludon. I send in Rudy to replace Hugo, and his high jump kick brings Duraludon into the red, and I would have loved for Linda to get the final KO, but she's taken down by a max Steel Spike before she has the chance to attack. I send in Jean to Aura Farm as Rudy finishes the battle with a second high jump kick, earning us the 8th and final badge. There were still several really strong shiny black Pokemon that I could add to the team, like Aegislash, Charizard, or like any of the fossils, but these are all well established as very strong Pokemon. So instead, I decided to continue on with my current black shinies, giving them the chance to make a name for themselves. This initially felt like the best idea I've ever had, with my underdog black shinies crushing the endgame of Pokemon Sword. Linda pretty much soloed Marnie, Gale then set up with Coils to solo Hop, Olena then had a massive crash out, and while it was more difficult compared to Hop and Marnie, she was still no match for my shinies, as Gale put an end to her tantrum. We then crushed Bede in front of a whole stadium, which will always be the highlight of any Sword and Shield playthrough. I then forgot who I was versing for our first official match of the Champion Cup, and it ends up being Nessa. And so I didn't have Bob in the party, but Linda is the GOAT, and more than makes up for my mistake, bringing Nessa down to her Barraskewda, who she then charms before sending in Louise, who proceeds to finish off the rest of Nessa's team. So even with my blunder, my black shinies had me covered. I didn't mess up when it came to the match against B, however, as Linda took the lead, and with zero setup at all, she was able to obliterate majority of B's team. Though sadly her Machamp's increased health from Dynamaxing allows it to survive Linda's attack, and it's able to take her down. But Rudy was there to grab the baton, and he bounces on Machamp, advancing us to the next phase of the Champion Cup. Our next battle is against Raihan, and once again my shinies were actually pretty suited for this fight. Jean in particular went crazy here, and starts things off by one-shotting his Torkoal. Goodra was a bit more scary for my shiny sandcastle, so I did bring in Linda, who quickly KOs the dragon with 2 Dazzling Gleams. Tortonator was in next, and with it being a Fire Dragon type, it was easy prey for Jean, as a Shadow Ball and Earth Power easily took down Raihan's second Tortoise. Also, what's with Game Freak making Fire type tortoises, by the way? Is it like a mythology thing, or am I just like missing something here? Anyway, not important. Linda comes back in to take down Flygon, and Raihan is down to his ace G-Max Duraludon. I sent in Teddy in an attempt to give our starter some limelight, but he's crit on the switch by a G-Max Steel Spike, doing insane damage. He can land a very soft double kick before then being knocked out, so it's back into the surprise GOAT of the battle, Jean. He takes a massive max attack and retaliates with an Earth Power, bringing the Duraludon into the red. It then hits an Iron Head, which Jean survives with just 18 HP, and he avoids the flinch, giving him a clear path for the KO, winning us the battle. Chairman Rose then also has a crash out, must be something in the UK cuisine or something, Anyway, Bob cooked Rose's team all the way up to his cop Raja, who puts an end to Bob's rampage, and it even takes down Rudy. And well, since he didn't get to do much in this endgame, I decide to give Teddy the KO here, as he outspeeds and finishes off Cop Raja with a swift double kick. Then with the help of Zacian and Zamazenta, we are able to catch Eternatus and put an end to the darkest day. And well, so far, this endgame has been easy, but the undefeated champion would end up being one of our biggest roadblocks yet. Leon's team is just pretty cracked, like all of his Pokemon are just on another power level compared to my shinies. I mean, he leads with an Aegislash, like come on. Jean is able to survive long enough to set up a Stealth Rocks in anticipation for Leon's Charizard, but as you can imagine, that wasn't enough to win. Gale takes massive damage before being able to KO Aegislash, and while Teddy can take down Rillaboom, he sadly falls to Haxorus. Bob can finish it off, but he has to switch when Leon sends in Rhyperior, who is able to tank a Seed Bomb from Pesto before taking him down with a Heat Crash. Linda does get the revenge KO and then proceeds to one-shot Dragapult, and she's even able to stall out Charizard's G-Max turns. But it still wasn't enough. Thanks to a speed boost from Max Airstream, Charizard is able to outspeed and land 3 Fire Blasts, resulting in a whiteout. We also get Leon down to his ace in attempt 2, but once again it just doesn't miss Fire Blast, and we lose once again. Both attempts have been super close, but we were just sustaining too many losses in the early stages of the fight, causing us to run out of juice towards the end. So I went into attempt 3 with a completely different strategy. Instead of leading with Jean, I lead with Hugo, who can set up to +1 attack and speed with a Dragon Dance. Sadly, I can't set up past a +1, since Shadow Ball does insane damage, but this +1 is more than enough to cause a massive dent in Leon's team, allowing Hugo to one-shot Aegislash with Dig, and then his non-shiny doppelganger with a Dragon Claw, and then +1 is enough to outspeed Dragapult, getting a third one-hit KO. Hugo was able to KO half of Leon's team, but his Rhyperior was just too tanky and lives a close combat and puts Hugo down. This does let me switch into Jean to get the Stealth Rocks off before taking down Rhyperior. Rillaboom is Leon's penultimate Pokemon in attempt 3, and it must have known that I needed all the help I could get, as instead of getting the kill with Drum Beating, it decides to use High Horsepower. This lets Jean get one last attack off before falling on the following turn. Louise can then come in and take down Rillaboom to bring Leon down to his ace Charizard, which of course takes massive damage from the Stealth Rocks. And I was banking on 2 things here. 1, Louise outspeeding, and 2 was Zard not using Max Airstream. And well, it outspeeds Louise and uses Max Airstream. This means it's guaranteed to outspeed Gale, so I decide to go with plan B. I know from attempt 1 that Linda is able to stall out Charizard's G-Max turns with Recover, but I take it a step further and stall out all of his Fire Blast PP, and Linda dodges 3 crits in a row, and even with Ancient Power giving an Omni Boost, Linda is able to tank everything Charizard throws at her, and gets the final KO of the run with several dazzling gleams. And with that, I've beaten Pokemon Sword with only black shiny Pokemon. And it's really fitting that Linda got the final KO, as not only did she really carry us in the endgame, she ended up being my favourite member of the team. But hey, let me know who your favourite was below, and thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring the video, and thank you to the members for taking that extra step to support the channel. I really appreciate it. Anyway, if you liked this video, maybe check out one of the ones on screen now, and as always, be kind and stay safe. Bye!